Hey, what's up guys? Tuki here, back again with this quick little update video. Of course, this is the video where we will have all of the polls in the description. I say all of the because there's a lot of names from this series that have been put up for nomination to be voted on to potentially go in to our channel Hall of Fame, as you would expect. You look at the original Draft to Glory run, there were a whole lot of names up for nomination, and for this run, it's no different. However, what I've done here is I've kind of separated the list of names into three different groups. We have, and it's no disrespect to any of the names, but we have the A-grade nominees, the B-grade nominees, and the wild card nominees, the ones where, you know, I'm not really expecting them to go through, nor were they a major part of our team, but they were still names that were brought up for nominations. So why not? We'll put it up for voting. So the four wildcard names, one being Chris Breen, who was one of the bigger enforcers, but of course never really did anything at the NHL level. Jake Dotchin, who consistently was at the top of the hits and fighting categories whenever we would look at the end of a season. He was always up there. He was like the one enforcer that we were missing. Like if anyone symbolized the Goon squad or kind of represented the Goon squad who never actually played for our team, that would be Jake Dotchin. The third being Will Pecker, who, yes, is kind of like the one that got away. We took Marty Dick in the same draft that Will Pecker was also drafted in. We could have had both of them on our team. It didn't work out, but he's still a name that you guys, or at least a couple of you, remember fondly. And the fourth, hilariously enough, is Spencer Chuko. Now, you might be saying, wait a minute, I don't recall there being anybody named Spencer Chuko on the Goon Squad. And you would be right. You'd be right for thinking that. However, Spencer Chuko will always be a legend. Whether or not he's a Hall of Famer, he will always be a legend because he is the player that was taken #1 overall by the San Jose Sharks, which allowed us to select Frederick McDonough with the 2nd overall pick. So shout out to Spencer Chuko. Those four are up for voting. Do I expect any of them to get in? We'll see. I don't know. Could happen. It's completely up to you guys. We move over to the B-grade players, so to speak. Like, there are guys here that I expect a couple of these names to get into the Hall of Fame, but I wouldn't say they're at that near surefire lock kind of level. We have Cedric Horkoff, a great player for us throughout the years, Sergei Nabokov, Big Reg, Reginald Chung, Dalton Galley. Those two were two of our very first few picks, both enforcers. Of course, Big Reg retired before his time. He just realized, this hockey thing isn't for me, and he walked off into the sunset. We have Jody Pandolfo, Sebastian Kress, one of my favorite players from this series, Ian Geispers and Tyler Castles, two members of the final team that gave us a really solid chance to potentially find success. Frank Kaufman, the backup goalie of dreams, Tom Brooks. I feel like I might be getting some of these names wrong, I should say, but let me know if I do. If I do, sorry, it's been a couple of weeks since I've recorded the series, you get the deal. Michael Sivan, Anderson McDonald, and Abraham Zanetti. So there are obviously some big names, some very important names from the history of this series that I just mentioned, but I'm not sure if any of them can really be defined as a lock for the Hall of Fame, whereas the A grades, the big five from this series, the five guys who I think have the best chance to make the Hall of Fame and more than likely make the best burgers, we have Jay Graves. Because, of course, what a great player for us, and then he went on to Nashville and won at least 2 cups there. Ridiculous career for Jay Graves. We have the previously mentioned Marty Dick, because of course we do. What a name, what a player. Nolan Foote is also up for nomination, and that leaves us with 2 players, and you know who they are. Marcus Brodin, perhaps the best goaltender in the history of my channel, and Frederick McDonough, perhaps the best defenseman in the history of my channel, and certainly the best draft pick that we have ever seen in this channel's history. So all of those players just mentioned, there will be a poll for each of them individually in the description, and we'll revisit this in a week or so, maybe longer if I end up forgetting, and we'll see who has made the Channel Hall of Fame. Of course, the nominations were up to you guys. The voting is up to you guys. Like I said, I thank you so much for the support with the Goon Squad series, and I'm intrigued to see in that final episode who will be joining the Hall of Fame, although I do have a pretty good idea who's going to make it and who isn't. So again, guys, thank you so much for your support. Have fun with the voting. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.